What's happening, everybody? It's your man Dame DNYDC. Two mics up. Man, tonight I can't even begin to tell you, man. We above the clouds tonight, man. I'm gonna be rocking with a special guest who's gonna be joining me on the other mic. Talented, full of energy. Even though he was born in my home state, we're gonna let him rep because he got the culture. You know what I mean? We doing that jump up, that jumping wave. If you don't know nothing about that, man, just sit down, sit in the back. We'll get you up to speed in a minute. But I'm proud, ladies and gentlemen, man, without really just going into too much more. Coming tonight, joining me on the stage, the one and only actor Kareem Stroud. Kareem, man, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm blessed, brother. I'm so thankful for you guys having me on your show tonight just to kind of talk about the industry and talk about life in general.
And that's it, man. Well, look, before we get into anything, really jumping into, your career and your body of work, I always like to start off with the real simple question. Who is Kareem Stroud? Like, give us some of your background, who you are as a young man and now as a man and a person, out here knocking it dead in the entertainment industry.
Oh, well, I'd like to say first and foremost, I'm a Christian, a man of God, a man that has very high values and morals, and I follow one path, and that's the Lord's path. I'm a married man, a young married man in LA, born in Brooklyn, New York, like you said, but I was raised of Trinidadian parents, so
all
got
right,
that strong, strict Trinidadian background where it's book, and that's all that's important in the household. Raised in Houston, Texas, though, so I still got that love for the South, the good cooking, the good food, the good people, the good fellowship that comes from someone from the South. But I went to college out in Baltimore, Maryland, Stevenson University. I played basketball, got my degree in business while minoring in theater. And that's what kind of brought me to the space of acting in LA, was that minor in theater. I had a professor that came to me and said, what was my degree when I was taking these acting classes in college? And he said, I said, my degree is in business. And he said to me in my face, he said, if business doesn't work out, you should try acting. And that kind of just stuck with me right when it was about time to graduate. I'm like, maybe I should give it a shot because that's something I've been interested in my entire life.
Wow.
So, and here I am, it worked out. And now I'm an actor, and I'm all about the business of acting when it comes to acting. So it all kind of worked hand in hand together.
I mean, isn't that amazing? How a professor saw something in you that you probably like you said, you thought about, and you considered.
It's been in my background my entire life. Like I've been dabbling with it, but I'm an athlete, so it could never be fully me. So I was always getting pulled away by basketball, football, track, baseball, whatever it may be. I'm also like a 6'5" actor, so I'm not the stereotype.
Right.
It's always pulled me away, but people ultimately have told me, you're going to be great at something. And, me, I'm thinking it's going to be sports. It's going to be the NFL, the NBA. But that teacher told me, he said, if business isn't decided that's not your thing, you should give acting a shot. And that just stuck with me. And I gave it a shot. And, hey, I've been making the shot.
and may you continue to make the shot. That's the most important thing. Is, I mean, you have this feel about you, this way about you. You have, like you say, people who may not have seen it. If y'all haven't, y'all need to go watch this brother's work. The most recent one, White Man Can't Jump, that was in the the remake in 20. That's where you really caught our attention. Because again, I seen you in other, but like you said, never really realizing that's a big man. You know what I'm saying? So with the traveling and everything, going from like I said, being born in New York and Houston and LA, how do you manage though? Because those are all three different pace lanes, and where you are now, and being humbled and married now, how do you remain or keep that balance? Because I know there's that fast side, everybody sees you, right? As an up and coming actor and making moves, but then like you said, you're a family man. How do you really stay 10 toes deep, man, in that and keeping that balance?
it's hard. I never want to make the excuse that like, oh, it's easy. I'm saying the words, but it's to say the words it's super difficult. But like I go back to what I first said, I'm a Christian first. And that's why I ground everything in that love for God. I ground everything in that. So if it's not following his will, I try to stay away from it if as I can. And
Right.
again, I'm not trying to say that to make it seem like, oh, that's an easy thing to do. That is probably one of the most difficult things to do in this world, regardless if I'm in LA, New York, Houston, regardless of my career path. But that's what kind of tries to keep me grounded. And I fail time and time again, but that's what brings me back.
Mm. It's that roots, man. So let's talk about that. Some people who may not really know about the Trinity culture and things like that. Coming up for you, what are some of the things? Because I know I'm Puerto Rican and having that Caribbean background, you just have certain things that are just instilled with you. And to this day, may my mother rest in peace. I can still hear her talking to me today when I'm doing. Boy, don't do it. What are those things that yeah, I see you smiling.
My mom and dad got so many sayings. As a kid, you sit there, you're not really listening to them. You're not taking it in really. But as you get older, you listen to everything they said. My dad used to always say, "Don't let nobody borrow nothing you can't give away." I said, "Don't borrow from family." Like he just said little things that helps you life. And my mom would always tell me, and it really stuck with me. Two things. Those are material things. Don't ever lose your mind over a material thing, and don't watch
True.
nobody for what they have, because you don't know what they have to do to keep it or what they do to get it. So
That's
that was
real
the two
true.
things that stick with me about like the borrowing of money. And then my mom would just always tell me material things. So I'm not into so many like jewelry, cars. I'm not into a lot of that because my mom always said, "You're worried about material things." And excuse my God.
No, that's true though, man. That's
How she
real.
was, and those are 2, 3 lessons that really stuck with me as a kid growing up in a Trinity home.
I
And
love it.
my dad would say, "Boy, you better learn how to cook. Your wife better know how to cook or something because she's not about to know."
That's so true. That's true, man. Look, I'm blessed, man. I'm glad my wife know how to cook too. 'Cause, man, that's a hidden requirement. You better know how to burn in that kitchen for real.
Exactly.
So, I love that. So, how was it and just to spend a little bit more time, just personally, merging of code. Like, is your wife, is she American? Is she
Uh,
Trini? Is
she's she,
she
she's American, but the beauty of her, she has such a rich family history. Like I tell her all the time, you're so lucky with the things that her family's done and the stuff
uh-huh.
she can draw on. That encourages me because sometimes,
That's what's up.
sometimes in America you don't have. If there's a black person in America, you don't have that strong background to pull on, that history of success in the family to
Yeah.
draw on. Like I know I'm gonna be something because my uncle, my grandparents, my great
Yeah.
grandparents were something, and she
Yeah.
has it. I remind her every day, like that's a blessing, and
That
it
is a
helps me,
blessing.
motivates me. Like this, anything is possible because you've seen it done before.
That's
So
dope. That's dope right there. And I hope everybody, because I mean, it is true. When you have that blueprint, uh, and it does make you realize, how blessed someone is, and hopefully
mhm.
that she realizes how blessed she is. But it
Yeah,
does motivate you. I mean, I'm kind of coming from a similar thing. My wife and I, we both struggle, but there's certain aspects of her family's blueprint that I'm like, man, that part right there, we want to build on that and make that. We've been able to, I mean, hell, we've been married 23 years, we've been
congratulations,
together 30. So
congrats.
right, so it's work,
Those
but
30 years count. I tell you that those 30 years count. No, not just the 20 to 30. The whole thing counts.
the whole thing counts, but I'm hearing you and it resonates. So I hope others who are watching this and listening, man, really can pick up on that. But I want to change gears for a minute now, Kareem. You've been able to nab some roles, man. Like, I kind of dug back into your little history bag here. Star Trek, Picard. Like, that's huge because I mean, I was a Trekkie as a kid coming up,
Hmm.
and watching that whole arc transform. Seeing you in the movie Sylvie is Love. Yeah, I'm curious to know what that was like for you. And of course, White Men Can't Jump. But what was each one? Because to me, I picked those three because they're all somewhat different,
Yeah.
in their genre and really what you were being asked to bring to the character. So what was like that for you? Actually, if you could kind of walk us through those three, if you could, and what that experience was like in nabbing those characters and working
I,
on those
I
characters.
I tell you a few funny stories, especially from Star Trek Picard,
Okay.
which that was honestly a throwaway audition because they
Oh,
they sent
really?
under a disguised name. It was like I don't. Maybe I'm giving away their disguised name, but it was like Dylan's Kitchen. And I Googled Dylan's Kitchen to see what it is. It's some kind of YouTube show. I'm telling my agent, yeah, I really don't got time to be wasting on this YouTube show. I got to be doing real things. So I just kind of I did the audition, but I didn't read. It was a self tape. I didn't do it like many times. I did it like twice. I said they're gonna whatever they like that they're gonna like that.
Right.
Then the AD hits me up when I book it, and they go, "Yes, I'm gonna need your sizes for Star Trek Picard." I was like, "Wait a minute." I'm looking. When did I call my man? When did we audition for Star Trek? And they were like, "I'm on Star Trek. I'm on Star Trek." Like, it was like a big deal.
Right.
Also, one of the most scary times of my career because when I fast forward into being the day we have to work, my COVID test came back inconclusive.
Oh,
And I
sheesh.
was like, whoa. My scene is with Patrick Stewart. My scene is with the
yeah.
guy. I'm
With
like,
the man.
Wait. Nah, I can't work. They was like, no, it's just inconclusive. We're gonna take another test. For 2 hours, I'm sitting in the car like, I can't believe I'm talking to God like, this is your will. This is how you gonna do it. This maybe it's not for you right now. But they came back and they let me on set. And then I'm a little, you're a little anxious, a little nervous. And I do the rehearsal with Patrick Stewart. I'm a little bit nervous. The director's jabbing at me, joking with me a little bit. But I hired a big mean guy. He looked like a big teddy bear. I said, okay. So we do the rehearsal, and Patrick Stewart comes up to me, and he goes, excuse me. And I'm like, oh, I must have messed up something. So, is your name Kareem? I go, yeah, sir. My name is Kareem. I'm such a big fan. I've always watched your work. He goes, for the past 35 years, I've been doing verbal meditation. And the word I chant is Kareem, Kareem, Kareem. So it is such a blessing to have you today. And that took away all my anxiety, all my angst. I was as free as a bird. Like, you heard what the man said.
Right.
I've been with him his whole life. So it took away everything. And it was just a fun, amazing time and experience. And I'm super thankful for that because and the director, after we do the scenes, the director looks at me and says, you got a scene with Patrick Stewart.
Could you imagine?
I'm like, and mind you, I'm a kid, Trinidadian kid, raised in Trinidadian home.
That's huge.
Who would think my life would bring me here right now? And if we go on to, you mentioned Sylvie's Love, I'm a New York Giants fan, so getting to work with Nnamdi Asomugha as a guy who played for the Eagles, football guy. Right. I was a lesson, but to get to work with Tessa Thompson as well.
Yeah.
She looked, that's a big star. Like I'm like, I'm sitting next to her like, that was my first movie, by the way, in Hollywood.
Really?
That was my first movie.
Okay.
So I'm super nervous. Super nervous. That's about time. I'm always nervous. I'm nervous right now. But nerves are good.
Right.
Listen. So,
right.
The fact that we were able to I learned so much on that set. The director Eugene Ashe was amazing. He continually gave me confidence in what I was doing. He at the rap party, he looks me and lit him eye next to my wife and tells me I'm gonna be a star. And it's those little things, just like when I was with the acting coach telling me you should try acting. Little things like that resonate with people and push them forward. You need those little debits into you that you can keep going in this business. So those are like blessings for me. And I think you mentioned White Man Can't Jump. That's something I feel like I manifested because when I heard about the movie getting remade, I kind of tweeted out like it'd be amazing for me to be a part of this movie, White Man Can't Jump. I just tweeted it out, put it in the universe, and then I got an audition from a friend who works with Kenya Barris, who helped me get an audition. My agents helped me get an audition. That doesn't guarantee you anything. I do the audition, and I turn it in. You never know. I get a call by the camera test. Right. I said, if they want me at the camera test, I'm giving them the character.
Right.
I'm giving them 100%. And some people were there not knowing what was really going on because they also brought in like some basketball players.
Okay.
Just to fill out the scene.
Right.
I was in there you've seen.
Talking
that trash, giving the director was there and everything he wanted. And when he booked me finally, first day on set, he looks at me and says, I knew it was you the minute you sent that tape in. But the camera test, I really appreciate. He
already knew.
Reaffirming what I already knew. Because one of the things he said was, it's rare that you get someone that can play basketball. Most times, who can play basketball, they can't act. Who can act, can't play basketball.
Right.
Me, he got someone who not only can play basketball, they knew how to act because 90% of what you saw was improv. White Man Can't Jump.
And see, that's the part, that really leads into my next question. Like developing your characters, right? because like you just said, that was improv. See, like I'm looking in my mind, like from having been able to, sit back and kind of research you, if you will, and understanding, that you were an athlete and you were a basketball player, and then see your natural, again, you're just a natural, you have a natural energy about you that comes across. So you saying that you improv that, so there was really no additional character development for you, like do you go in your mind, like when you're, let's say you get a role like Sylvia's Love, or like do you in your mind go somewhere and dive in to a place where you see the character or how you want the character to come about? Like how does that development work for you? Because you said improv on that one, but that seemed natural as all heck to me.
Nah, yeah. The thing is, I joke with my wife about this, and I joke with my other acting buddy. I said, I think my gift in acting is my ability to see the scene in totality. Like I can, how you read the words on the pages, but I really be seeing what's going on or
Yeah.
what could happen. So
Yeah.
it makes it so easy to become that character in
Right.
that moment and see add these little quirks in there, or say this word instead of this word, or if something changes. Now I saw it already. I can make the
Right.
adjustment. Because if you talk about like white man can't jump, one of the lines were like, was he gonna keep wearing those funky shoes?
Yeah.
Or was he wearing these earrings?
Right.
Jack Harlow wasn't wearing any earrings. So the director goes, just think about something. I said, oh, don't let me go through that. I already got that. That's when you get the line like, you gonna wear the fake Richard Simmons outfit.
Right.
That's all
Right.
like me thinking about seeing what I see and
Wow.
just already has seen the scene, so it's easy to then pick up on things and add things and just make it feel natural. I always say that's my gift, like being able to read a scene and digest it and just feel what's supposed to happen and see what's supposed to happen.
I mean, that's ill, because I mean, I like I said, I would have never in a million years just what you said, because I there's talent and then there's beyond talent, right? And then for you, like you said, for you to be in a moment, that quick sense of situation, if you will, to be able to go ahead and read through and dialogue. And have you done that through many of your roles, or was that really like the first role where that really came to fruition for you? Like it was right there on the spot for you?
Now it's through my life. That was been my
Wow.
another part of my acting journey I never really talk about is growing up in Texas. There's this thing called speech and debate where you go
Okay.
across the state of Texas, and you
Hmm.
perform as a middle schooler and high schooler in these competitions with pantomime, with
Okay.
improv, with prose and humorous and poetry, and you
Right.
win awards. And even though I was an athlete, if you go to my mom's house in Texas, you see a bunch of trophies for acting, but
Oh
it's winning
wow.
those competitions. And it was most of the time it was about my improv. And so I really lean on that. So
I
a lot of
see. I
movies you see
see.
me in, a lot of things you see me in, it's really improv. And that'll
Wow.
grant, because I also do a lot of commercials.
Right. Right.
Business is all improv. That's what they're seeking improvers. They want people that
Wow.
can take their idea and make it special, make it something different. With a little, if I give you a plant, a box, and a balloon, what can you make for me? What can
Wow.
you? How can you sell this? So that's been my secret gift walking into this
Oh,
industry.
that's that secret sauce. That's what
Mhm.
that is.
That's
That's that secret.
what sets me apart from a lot of different people. Not only my size and who I am, just who I am as a person, but that ability to improv in any scenario.
Man, look, you coming to the stage next? You thinking about being a comedian or something next?
Oh, shit. That's I've done it one time, and I don't know if I could do that. That's a little too.
Too difficult?
That's one of the greatest, the most scariest and greatest things. I give props to all comedians, man.
There's got to be
That's
that.
vulnerable right there.
Oh,
Because
you wide
true
open?
comedian, you gotta be. We've seen the greats, Dave, Richard,
Yeah.
Mac. You gotta be vulnerable on that
Ooh,
stage, and
one of the greatest, man.
that's one of the hardest things to tell
Mm,
anybody to be is vulnerable.
yeah.
As we all holding our secrets and demons inside.
Mm.
For me to put it on, that's a gift.
So speaking of gifts, man, and different things, brother. Um, what else then would you say is something or some things on your bucket list, if you will, as an actor or entertainer, that you still feel or you want to aspire to, as you continue on your journey?
Oh man, the list is only just beginning. I've got so many
All right.
movies to be historical figures, like people like there's a movie coming out that about Shirley Chisholm, and I want to
Yeah.
be a historical figure about the Black Panther Party. I look at actors
Mm,
like Damson Idris. I look at all
yeah.
these up and coming actors, and I said I want to make sure I'm at that level when the time comes, because there's so many movies. Marvel, you want to be a part. My Trinidadian brother Winston Duke, I see his career and I go, man, so many things I want to get done. Be an action guy. I want to be a big army guy. I want to be in Expendables. The list is. I was told when I first started this business, you cannot win in this business, in the sense of there's no completion in this business. Always going to be more. It's a never-ending list. Let's say you win 2 Oscars, now you want to win 3.
Yeah.
Now you 4. Now you want to go win a Grand. Now you want to be an EGOT. Now
Right.
Ever extending in this business, because I tell people all the time. I remember when I first started 8 years ago, I would do background on the show and have the biggest smile on my face. Now I want monologues on movies. Now I always want more. Now when you get you get a guest star in a movie. Now you want your own movie.
Yeah.
You get a superhero movie. Now I want my own action figure.
Right.
It's you can't win in this business, in the sense of you can't complete it, because there's so much we want. So
that's a real statement. I never really thought of it in that manner. I mean, heck, that's applicable, excuse me, to just about anything in life, really. I mean, once you start tasting some form of success, how you apply your trade, such as yourself and your skills, really helps open up other doors. And speaking really of other doors, as we're coming towards, time's flying, but we're coming towards the back half, you've been, able to shine, because there's some other things that I don't know if people really, you've been, the CW's All-American, Belair, Snowfall, if I remember correctly. So yeah, you've been touching a lot of different things, and now that the strike is over, and it's come to an end recently, like, what is on your calendar? Or is there anything that you can share about projects that you're working on or that'll be coming out soon, in the near future?
Small. I do have a small role in the Shirley Chisholm movie coming out.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know if I can share too much about that, but it's with Regina King. She's playing Shirley Chisholm. That's all I probably can share.
Oh man, that's fair enough. Oh man.
But it's just, I don't know how people realize how hard that strike was, man. Because it wasn't just the 3 months with the actor strike; it was the 6 months with the writer strike. It was the economy to begin the year. This entire year wiped out a lot of actors, a lot of dreamers. They lost hope. And one of the greatest things we have on this earth is hope, and the belief that tomorrow is going to be a better day. Right. And when you take away something they've been believing in, it crushed a lot of people. A lot of my friends went home. A lot of my friends are in new career paths. It's just they lost that hope and belief that they can actually make it in this business. And blessings to those that were able to continue on, and that's amazing. But a lot of outside of this industry, they just, actors on strike. They think of it that way, but it's not only actors; it's crew members, it's electricians, it's washers and mom and pop shops around in the area. Yeah, it's wardrobe, it's hair and makeup, it's everybody was affected by this strike, and we're finally seeing light and hope moving forward. So we're excited. We're also confused about the new contracts with AI, but we got to move forward, man. Life is always progressing forward in this world we live in. So,
and that's the key right there. With everything that you say, I agree with you. One, as a, I'm not an actor or entertainer, but I'm glad to see the strike end. Not only for someone like yourself, but like you said, all the other people behind the scenes and all the other businesses that were supporting. You day in and day out, to be able to have get back to some type of normalcy. Like you said, though, the AI part, I don't know how that's going to play, because that's scary as all get out right now. When it comes to talent and writers and things like that. I mean, I dabbled around with it once or twice, and I shocked the heck out of myself. And I'm like, man, this is dangerous. And I'm on the real low scale of things, but it's scary. But I do want to ask you too, if someone is watching this, because I think you are, just getting to have the opportunity to talk with you tonight. You are a very inspiring man, and I really appreciate you, and just hearing you talk, man. You don't hear that, especially from men of color. So it's been an honor for me to have another man I'm inspired by you and just your words. If someone is watching this, a young man, of color, or a young girl, what's one piece of advice maybe you could share with them, as they maybe embark on their journey as an actor?
I got one bit of advice I give. Well, first off, you got to have your base, your foundation before you do anything in this life. You got to
Mm.
create your foundation, and I root mine in God and my wife and my family. So
Wow.
that's
All
my
right.
foundation, and you got to list out what you will and will not do, because there will be moments in your life where you be tested and tried on this journey to becoming an actor, and you got to be clear on
Mm.
what you will and will not do. And then you also have to. People say whistle while you work. Now
Mm.
you want to become an actor, but you got to figure out a way to secure yourself so that you aren't just taking any job, and you can really form your career the way you want it to be formed.
Wow.
Whistle while you work, have fun, and try to get this job, become an actor. But figure out what your grind is going to be, the way to pay your bills, the way to figure out how am I going to live day in and day out in this business, because this business, like we said, this year people didn't work the entire year.
Right.
You have to figure out what are you going to do to sustain yourself. And I know you want to ride on hope and a wish, and and a miracle to happen, but sometimes that miracle don't happen, and you have to not only have a foundation but have something that you have in place
Mm.
that's going to provide for you on your journey. And always, even when you're doing your side hustle, never forget your journey, and never forget this
Man.
is your purpose.
Mm.
So
I couldn't have said anything, but Kareem, thank you so much, brother.
you're
You know,
welcome, bro.
for sharing those words, man, and those gems. And before we go, man, I have to ask you, just take a moment, man, to if you could go ahead and share your social media with us, man. So I want to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, go out and follow this brother, man. I mean, he's up and coming. You can't miss the energy, you can't miss the smile, the humbleness, man. He's a great man. So Kareem, please go ahead and share your social media, please.
You guys can follow me on Instagram. It's just Kareem3K, and that's pretty much. I just Instagram and Twitter Kareem3K. Pretty
All
simple, nice.
right.
Thank you.
Ni- Nice and simple, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. Another incredible episode. Two mics up. The amazing above the clouds actor Kareem Stroud. Check him out, man, and go out and support him and all of the work that he's doing. Give him a like and a follow. Drop him some comments, man. He does some really good stuff. Kareem, thank you again, brother.
Thank you.
Hopefully, man, we'll be crossing paths again in the near future.
Yes, sir.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Season 6, two mics up. I'm your man, Dame DNYDC. If you want, you can follow me across social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Dame DNYDC. And you can also continue to follow Two Mics Up. We are on the number one network for positive programming, Mogul TV Global Network. Man, a million homes, y'all. We in 32 countries. So go ahead, man, jump on the bandwagon. Make sure you keep following. And I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a couple of things like I do each and every week. May you all continue to stay safe, stay blessed.
Mike's up.